Okay, so there's a few features that I would like for you to know that are found inside of caves. So here was our overall chemical formula. Water plus carbon dioxide makes carbonic acid. Carbonic acid, when it acts on calcium carbonate, which is calcite, which is the mineral that's inside limestone, it breaks it apart into the calcium part, and then this part over here is called bicarbonate, and both of those are soluble in water, so they're both going to flow in the groundwater. But we also found that these reactions can go backwards, so that if you've got groundwater that contains a overabundance of calcium and this bicarbonate, it can go back together again, and it can turn back into carbonic acid and this time we're going to call it travertine, and that's going to be the sedimentary rock that is going to make stalactites and stalagmites. Okay, so let's say that you have the roof of your cave is here, and you've got groundwater that is percolating through it, and let's say that somehow it starts to drip from the ceiling. So as it drips from the ceiling, it's going to start to deposit travertine on the ceiling, and then as more water flows over it, it's going to get thicker and thicker and thicker, and so this is going to be a stalactite, so it's going to stick tightly to the ceiling. Another thing that can happen is that this water could be dripping onto the floor. So here's the floor of the cave, and then that could start to deposit travertine, and it could start to build up from the base, and so that's going to be a stalagmite. So stalagmites come up from the bottom, stalactites are from the top, and then what can happen is eventually these two things can connect, and then you get a column. Another thing that could happen is on the walls of the cave, you could have water that's flowing down the walls of the cave, and then this is going to make flowstone. So you can have material that's on the walls of the cave that's flowing down. There's also these things that are called soda straws, where it's going to be hollow on the inside of it, and then the material is going to be flowing on the outside of it. So I'll let you read about that in your textbook or on the internet, but you definitely need to know about stalactites and stalagmites and then flowstone. So those would be the three things that you would find. You're also going to find a lot of mud inside of a cave and a lot of clay, because if you recall, we said that groundwater generally transports things that are dissolved, but it also is going to transport fine particles such as mud and clay, and so that's in the groundwater too, and that can start to cover up the cave. Eventually the cave could be completely filled in with that mud and stuff. Okay, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what does karst topography look like from the air.